the evolution and diversity of pigeons. After discussing and researching some of the animals we found in the museum, we landed on learning about the evolution and diversification of pigeons. Both of us already had an interest in pigeons due to the known history of pigeons being domesticated but then being sent into the wild when humans no longer had a need for them. Using various online sources and ebooks, as well as information we found in the Oxford University Museum, we were able to create a storyboard of how pigeons evolved and diversified through processes like natural selection over time. Here are some of the images we gathered on our trip.
Classification in biology is the establishment of a hierarchical system of categories on the basis of presumed natural relations among organisms. The science of biology classification is commonly called taxonomy. Organisms with a more similar classification are more closely related. Those with the same phylum, group, class, etc. may have shared common ancestors. Many commonly found pigeons have the same genus, Columba, but vary in species, such as the rock dove, hill pigeon, snow pigeon, etc., which all share the same genesis. On the left, you can see the taxon of the common domestic pigeon. Here is a phylogenetic tree showcasing the different species of pigeons.
Pigeons typically have a compact, plump body shape due to the well-developed pectoral muscles, which can constitute up to 44% of their body weight, allowing for strong, swift flight. They possess a relatively small, rounded head and a short, soft bill. A distinguishing feature is the cere, a patch of soft, swollen skin that covers the base of the bill. There is physical variation in the different species of pigeon. For example, the stock pigeon is smaller than the wood pigeon and has a metallic neck patch, whilst the wood pigeon does not. Varieties such as these are what help researchers in IDing the different species. This helps them with gathering data in their studies on pigeons.
Evolution of pigeons. Pigeons belong to a group of birds whose evolutionary origins trace back to theropod dinosaurs, the same group that gave rise to all modern birds. One of the earliest known bird-like ancestors is Archaeopteryx, which lived around 150 million years ago. Evolutionary roots can be traced to the order Columbiformes, which not only include both doves and pigeons, but also extinct animals such as the dodo and solitaires. Pigeons were originally sought to be domesticated due to their remarkable homing abilities as well as a food resource around 4,500 BC and possibly even earlier in multiple regions including the Middle East and North Africa. Later on, they were then kept for companionship and acted as messengers, which made them essential during war times as they carried letters home. Much of the genetic diversity seen in pigeons today comes from their ancestor, the rock dove. Because domestication happened multiple times and in different regions, domestic pigeons today show over 350 recognised breeds, ranging from fancy show pigeons to racing pigeons. This incredibly diversity makes pigeons an excellent model for studying how both natural selection and artificial selection drive the evolution of new traits and forms.
Using an article I found online, I found archaeological evidence showing the rock dove had first been domesticated at least 3,000 to 10,000 years ago in either the Mediterranean basin or rather the Fertile Crescent alongside the Neolithic Revolution. It was argued that the rock dove had been most likely domesticated several times and in different places, which is shown by the large span of their natural distribution range, possibly over thousands of years. After an early domestication phase, humans spread domestic pigeons throughout Eurasia and North Africa, where they diversified. Today, there are over 350 recognised domestic species, the majority of which are believed to have originated in the Middle East and South Asia. However, none of this is known for full certainty, as the mix of both domestic and wild populations of pigeon makes it difficult to reliably study the rock dove as a single unit.
Darwin's pigeons. Darwin first became interested in pigeons as part of his early investigation into natural selection versus artificial selection. At the time, pigeon breeding was a popular hobby in Victorian England, and he had pigeon breeders and sellers help aid his investigation. As he became more fascinated, Darwin actually set up his own pigeon loft, purchasing many different breeds so he could study them closely. It's believed that he went and visited them daily for 20 years. On the origin of the species, Darwin commented that the diversity of the breeds is something astonishing, which is why he chose pigeons. Darwin used pigeons to show that artificial selection, where humans choose which traits are passed on, works in a similar way to natural selection, where the environment determines which traits offer a survival advantage. Their extreme diversity, combined with their shared ancestry, gave him evidence that species are not fixed, but can be shaped and transformed by selective pressures. On the right is Darwin's illustrations of pigeons from 1868.
Due to pigeons being released into the wild after being domesticated, they have had to rapidly adapt to survive. They've had to learn to inhabit man-made structured buildings in urban environments. Ancestral pigeons primarily had a herbivore diet of seeds and grains found in more natural environments. Now, many of the domestic species have adapted more of an omnivore diet, living off scrap food and waste found in urban areas. There are also a lot fewer natural predators in urban areas compared to the wild, leading to increased populations, possibly overpopulations. Due to the easier access to food, urban pigeons have been found to have an increased reproductive rate, laying eggs more frequently and for longer periods of time, compared to the shorter egg-laying cycles found in more wild pigeon species. They've also learned to have a decreased fear of humans. If anything, they've learned begging behaviours as they perceive humans as a food source rather than a predator.
Ecological and behavioural traits. Pigeons display a wide range of fascinating behavioural traits that have contributed to their success in both natural and urban environments. One of these behaviours is their territorial nature. Individual pigeons, especially dominant males, will often defend valuable resources such as food or nesting sites. When challenged, short confrontations or displays of dominance are performed that help establish social hierarchy within a flock. Another key behavioural feature is their strong tendency to form long-term pair bonds. Before pairing, it is common for the male to court the female, which includes displays such as puffing their chest and circling the female. Pigeons are famous for their remarkable navigation abilities, hence why they were used in war times as messengers. It is believed to be due to visual cues, magnetic fields, and their sense of smell. Another significant behavioural trait is their incredible adaptation skills, particularly in urban environments where they have exploited new food sources and cope with human activity. Research has shown pigeons have demonstrated intelligence through recognising patterns, memorising locations, and responding to changing conditions. Some ecological traits include speed dispersal, where pigeons forage for seeds and fruits, aiding in seed dispersal and plant regeneration. They also aid in the nutrition cycle. This is due to their droppings being rich in nitrogen and phosphorus, promoting soil fertility and supporting plant growth. They also act as a food source for predators. This helps to maintain balance within the food web. In urban areas, pigeons contribute to the cleanup of food scraps and help to support various insects and small mammals, enhancing urban biodiversity.
Overall, pigeons are a great topic of interest when it comes to evolution and diversity. We found a lot of key information, like the fact natural selection has produced over 350 different species of pigeon, proving them to be one of the most diverse breeds of bird. Charles Darwin is one of the first researchers in the field. Many use his research on pigeons as a model of natural selection. The overall information found on pigeons has aided other studies of speciation. The data provides a representative insight into other social breeds of bird and how they will most likely respond similarly to that of a pigeon. It's also been found the same genes that influence pigeon feather colour or limb development can be associated with human conditions such as pigment variations, like melanoma risk. The Oxford trip has overall provided us with a greater understanding and interest in both the evolution and diversification of all animal species and the conditions it can happen under.